Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Talisa here and welcome back to our next video. Today's video I'll be showing you how I make my candles. A lot of people were requesting for me to do this video for since a good while, and I always tell them it's just time. Well, today is the day when I will be showing you how I make my scented candles. First, I measure my candle in my measuring cup. This cup holds 1 pound of candle. I melt down my candle in this pitcher. I use this for only my candles. Today I'll be coloring one of my candles. I don't normally color candles, but I'll be using this pigment to color my candles, and I'm using one of my oil, my best sell oil, which is Bubblicious, and I'm using my fruity. So I'm gonna make 2 candles today. I also use to measure the heat, because I have to work with the heat. And I use these spoons to measure the amount of fragrance I put in the candle. This is my wax, because I buy my wax by the pound. The last time I bought it, I get it in this. I use my regular pot and I catch water in it. I put it to boil, not to boil, but I put it to heat. I turn up the stove at first, put it on high, and then let the water hot fast, and then I turn it down so the wax will melt on low heat. First, you want to make sure that your pitcher is free from water, because this can be very dangerous. It can be explosive if water gets inside it, right? Because don't forget, it's oil and water. This is my wax, and this is soy wax. So I measure it in here. Take my time and I pour it out in my pitcher. This is what it looks like in the pitcher. So the water started to get warm, so I'm going to place this down in the pot. I'm just waiting right here until the wax started to melt, then I'll show you the next process. This is 15 minutes in and the stove is on the lowest heat. By the next 6 minutes, this should complete. The wax is completely melt. I am going to test it now with my thermometer. This is measured in Fahrenheit. So what I usually do, I usually go up a bit more with my measurements. So I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna make sure it measure 180 to 185 Fahrenheit. It is not ready as yet. It's at 156. I'm gonna give it some more time until it reach 180 or 185. While I wait on it to set, I'll just get my container. These are some 9-ounce glass container that I use. I'm gonna set it up. I use this 12-inch wick. This don't have the bottom, so I'm just gonna. I do not have the stabilizer for the candles, for the wick. So what I use the clothespin. So as this is set, I'm going to test my wax again. Now that my wax is ready, I'm going to go with the bubble gum first. I'm going to measure to put in the scent. This is 1 tablespoon. I use 2 tablespoons. I'm going to use this stick to mix it evenly. Then I'm going to add this pigment. That's a red wine color. Still need some more. Well, make sure that this is blended evenly. You want to make sure that there's no separation. Now I'm going to pour. A pound of wax, my measuring cup, which is 32 ounce. This is 32 ounce. You know, when it melt down, you don't see 32 ounce. It's just the raw thing is 32 ounce. So a pound of wax give me 2 9-ounce of candle. Sorry, give me 2 9-ounce candle. So this is it right here. The temperature is really hot, so it will take longer time than usual. It started to set in 30 minutes, would complete almost set. But now that the time is hot, it's going to take longer. So I'm just waiting on this right now to settle. As soon as it settles, I will show you the finished product. What I normally do every time, that's because I only have this one picture that I use. So every time that I complete one set, I'll just wash this out and then I started the next set. I said I was going to do 2. I might end up with more. This is the Bubblicious. So now I'm going to do the fruity. I'm going to do 2 fruity. For this next set, I am doing half, and I'm going to show you why I do half. If you're doing something yet, like, tell yourself, okay, I am going to do this now. And when you get to the point, it's like your mind is blocked. You actually forget everything that you're supposed to say. Like, you actually know everything, but then you just, that person is me. That person is me, like literally. Because at first I said I am going to do 2 candles today. Now I end up going to do 4. And the reason why, because I added the color. And for the color to blend it out evenly, it have to be hotter than the usual. And also, normally when I'm doing candle, I'll do half. Let that half set first. Because sometimes when you do the candle, like when you do everything one time, and like for me, I do not have a heat gun. Because if I have a heat gun, I could just pour everything one time and that's it. And next thing, if you don't have a heat gun, and you try your best always to do half, because sometimes when you do half, when the candle set, where the wick is located, normally sometimes some bubble hole always come up around there, and then now you have to melting back down the candle. So to avoid all of that, that is why I do half and half, like most of the time. It takes longer, it's like time consuming, but you have to do, as I said, as for me, I have to do what's best. And even though yes, it takes longer time, but I have to do what's best. We're going to make my work easier, right? So I'm just waiting on this half to melt and reach the temperature, and then I will show you the next step. This is half, so I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon, 1.5 tablespoon. Stir. I don't know if you guys can smell this, but this scent is giving. Once this half is dry, in the meantime, I just put the next half to melt. Once it cooled down, it started to set. So by the time this set is melt, then I can able to pour it out. Once it reaches cooling point, I can easily remove the clothespin from it. And right here, you can see, I'm not sure if you can see this. So this is what I'm talking about. You can see the crack in it. Like here, you can see the crack. So that's why I said it's best to do half and half, and then you pour the rest. So I'll rest this right there until it is set. I don't know if you can see the bubbles coming up from close by the wick. So this is actually what I'm talking about. And for this right now, you see what I'm talking about? This is a big hole in this one. So what I have to do now is either I melt it back down, or I melt some more wax and pour on it for it to fill out. For this one, I'm not going to melt it back. I am just going to melt some raw wax and set it. This one is a bit different. And whenever it happens like this, when I pour out everything one time, I normally lose because this is too much wax in the container right now, and then I have to pour just a little bit more over it for it to set evenly and look smooth. But you know, selling a product, you want to make sure that you give your best. You want to make sure you give a good result. So I'm going to melt some more wax, just a little bit, just to cover both of them. This is what I'm talking about. So the fact that I did this straight, because it didn't do in half and half, so this is where I have the issue now. So I have to melt a little more wax now. The scent already in and the color is in. So I'm going to pour it in for it to fill the holes and to level it off. So but still, I still have to watch this one because this one was in a deeper hole than the next. So I have to watch this one. So what I would have to do is use something, a toothpick or something, and while I see the bubble, I'll just put this there and just stick the bubble, and then it will come up and then it will level off. So as you can see how this one is complete, the half and half, you do a better job when you do the half and half. So you don't see any bubble in this one. No bubble. And this is where I remove the clothespin. It's all set. Now that my candles are dried, I use a nipper, a scissors, whatever sharp object I use, just not a knife, and I just nip it. And I have my cover. I cover it. Then I add my label. These are my label. This is Aquarian Aroma. And if you're interested in any of my candles, you can also reach out to me on Instagram at Talisa Creative Hands, on TikTok and Talisa Creative Hands, and Facebook is Talisa Skeet.